How's it going, guys? My name is Ishan, and in this video we're talking about yet again another breaking news about Plug Power, another huge deal that they just signed today. The stock is up 22%, in fact up another 5% after hours, and oh my god, on the whole year in total we're up over 1500%, and just in the last 1 month up 160%. So absolutely insane move. Last week when I made my video on Plug Power, we talked about the huge deal they signed with the South Korean company SK Group, and how basically that deal was going to bring them a ton of opportunity in the Asian markets and really help their revenues explode. Well, today there was yet another deal that Plug Power made that is just massive. But before we get into the massive deal, make sure to drop a quick sub and let's get to it. So the deal that they announced was Renault, and Renault is a huge automotive player. Basically, they launched a 50-50 joint venture for the first half of 2021 where they're targeting over 30% share of the fuel cell powered light commercial vehicle market in Europe. They'll be using their manufacturing capabilities for hydrogen fuel cell systems and their integration vehicles. So to put it simply, together they'll be creating hydrogen fuel cell batteries to use in such vehicles, and these vehicles are basically like your delivery vans and things like that. Renault is actually a huge producer of cars and vans, and in fact if you just take a look at their revenue, these guys are doing $9 to $10 billion worth of euros, which would be like around 14 billion US dollars. So this is a huge legit company that Plug Power has partnered with, and just think about the massive opportunity that they have. Think about if Renault pushed their entire fleet to hydrogen eventually, or at least a lot of their new vehicles started being built with hydrogen powered batteries, that is going to equate to a ton of revenue for Plug Power. But what I want to do real quick is just play this interview about Plug Power's CEO where he spoke on the deal.
50. Why Renault, and how big do you think that European market just might be?
So, Brian, thank you for having me on. And why Renault is an easy answer. Renault is the second largest light commercial vehicle company in Europe. And they also are experts in battery electric vehicles, which is a critical technology when you marry it with fuel cells. And when you look at those two together, it's a perfect marriage, since we provide a full turnkey from the fuel cell to the hydrogen infrastructure to hydrogen. And in Europe, they expect by the year 2030, there to be over 500,000 fuel cell electric vehicles, light commercial vehicles on the road. And this JV is targeting a third of that. And I agree, this could be bigger than the South Korea activity. And Plug has moved from being just a fuel cell manufacturer and hydrogen infrastructure manufacturer and hydrogen generation manufacturer, and now we're in the vehicle space with, I think, the premier player we could have picked to work with in Europe.
Wow, so that is just crazy. And as we heard the CEO just say, there will be 500,000 light commercial vehicles powered by hydrogen in Europe just by 2030. And through this deal, Plug Power and Renault are targeting a 30% share of that market, or about 150,000 cars will be sold by them. And so if you just take a look at the average cost of a delivery van, it's about $34,000. So if we take this number and multiply this by 34,000, that is about $5.1 billion in revenue. $5.1 billion in revenue. And so Plug Power, through royalties or whatever of how the deal is structured, is going to make a solid chunk out of this $5.1 billion in potential revenue that these guys will be making. And this is why, as I mentioned in my last video, that Plug Power could be as big as, let's say, I'm thinking ExxonMobil size. ExxonMobil, Chevron, these guys not only produce the oil, but they have built out the entire infrastructure, fuel stations, all these different things. And that's the size that I could see Plug Power. Like right now, Plug Power is only a $30 billion company. Down the line, this is a company that could be worth 100 to 200 billion, like these companies like Exxon, because they're creating the infrastructure, they're creating the charging stations, the batteries, they're producing fuel cell technologies, electrolyzers, which is another huge thing that I've been mentioning in all my other videos. And so that is the size of the company that I could see Plug Power Power reaching. But going even further, and this is things that no one is mentioning or even talking about, but in an interview with FreightWaves, Plug Power's CEO said that it planned to make 200 million from their on-road commercial vehicle program, and they've already been supplying hydrogen fuel cell powered engines for 100 delivery trucks for DHL in Germany, and if they perform well, may even expand that to 500 vans, and that alone, as their CEO says over here, could satisfy 25 to 30% of the $200 million goal, meaning that their deal with DHL alone is worth 50 to 70 million dollars. So just think about how much more revenue they'll be making from deals like they did with Renault. And if you even go back to my last video, I said that this $200 million number was super conservative and that I expect it to be much more. And I believe that with Plug Power continuously signing these kind of deals, this company is going to explode even higher. They're building 5 green hydrogen powered plants. They acquired Geiner ELX and United Hydrogen to help them with hydrogen production and upping their technology game. And this reinvestment has allowed them to show these companies that they're partnering with that we have the infrastructure and we have the ability to deliver on our deal, and that's why this company is exploding. And even if we go further, they even predicted their European expansion. In Europe, the investment in hydrogen is supposed to be 65 billion by 2030. In fact, that is required. And so there's so many opportunities for Plug Power, especially in countries like Europe and Asian markets that are just developing in the hydrogen industry. The hydrogen industry as a whole is just getting started, guys. It's just getting started. Literally no one is using it right now, but as we begin to get into this market, and Plug Power, who is the leader in this space, will only continue to sign more deals and make even more money. So that's why I was saying in my last video to use the dips to buy now that the stock had gone up so much. And in fact, last week there were a couple of times where the stock dipped to be able to add and buy more. I still think the company is super undervalued to what it could be worth in the future, and so I really recommend that you guys look to be buying on the dips, look to be adding slowly on the dips. No need to just FOMO in and dump your entire account into it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying to use the dips and try to slowly build a position. Renault, as the CEO mentioned, is one of the largest automobile companies in Europe, and this deal is just going to bring them even more revenue, and that's why I really think that this $200 million number that they said for on-road vehicle programs is actually going to be much higher. And in fact, I think that they could really surpass the $1 billion revenue mark that they were announcing that they're aiming for in 2024. So make sure to like, subscribe it, and check out the Gen Z Trader Academy link down below. It's a step-by-step course on how to get started in the stock market, as well as if you're trying to learn technical analysis and how to read the charts and all that super in depth. Make sure to check out this course and support the channel at the same time. So that's it for this video, guys. Do all that stuff and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, clocking out for now. Peace.